Hey guys, my name is Kristin, and this week we have been talking about our identity in Christ. Today I want to tackle 2 Corinthians 5:17-21, which says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away, behold, the new has come. And all this is from God, who through Christ reconciled us to himself and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That is, in Christ, God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting their trespasses against them, and entrusting to us the message of reconciliation. Therefore, we are ambassadors for Christ, God making his appeal through us. We implore you on behalf of Christ, be reconciled to God. For our sake, he made him to be sin who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God." Right away, when I read this passage, a few words jump off the page to me, and I would like to take some time to unpack them a little bit. The first thing I notice is that Paul says that if you are in Christ, you are a new creation. And it's important that we don't skim over this, because this is at the core of our identity in Christ. Because of the disobedience and sin that occurred in Genesis 3, we now live in a fallen world. And as a mother of an almost 2-year-old, I can assure you we are not born righteous. I did not have to teach my son how to steal his sister's toys or how to hit when he's angry. He just does it. He could work hard his whole life to not mess up, but it would never be enough, because without Jesus, his nature, and mine, and yours, is sin. The atonement of Christ saved us from what is known as the 3 P's: the penalty of sin, the power of sin over us, and the presence of sin. So the fact that we are a new creation means that we are now righteous before God. That sin we were once slaves to is now dead, and we have a new nature, and our call is to walk in that. 1 John says that we must walk in the light as he is in the light. The next word that jumps out to me from this passage is reconciliation. But notice it's not us who does the reconciling. Verse 18 says that it is from God through Christ that we are reconciled. Reconciliation means to be restored to friendly relations, and typically in life it is the person who does the wrong that is responsible for initiating the reconciliation process. The problem here is our propensity to sin disqualifies us from making ourselves right before God. That's why simply being a good person just doesn't cut it. We cannot will ourselves or work ourselves out of our sin nature. It is purely by the grace of God that we can be reconciled at all. And notice too, it isn't our responsibility to reconcile others to God, but we have been entrusted with a message of reconciliation, which leads me to the next word that popped out to me as I read this: ambassadors. An ambassador is an official representative to a foreign country. Interesting choice of words. This means not only are we a new creation, but we have a new citizenship with a totally different set of laws to live by. Last week we talked about the Beatitudes from Matthew 5, which lays out the standards for this upside-down kingdom. Blessed are those who are poor in spirit, who mourn, are meek, are merciful, and so on. By the world's standards, it appears foolish to live that way, but we live by different standards where it is utter foolishness to live any other way. We are righteous ambassadors, and we carry the message of a restored relationship to God given to us through Christ, so that by his death and resurrection we have life.